Hi, everyone. How we all doing? Woo! You guys have fun? I'm Dana Friedberg. I'm the social media coordinator at the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. Please help me welcome two beautiful, wonderful, funny ladies, the stars of the weekend, Sasheer Zamata and DeWanda Wise. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. First of all, these dresses, this color story.
Thank you.
I love it.
Not even intentional.
Yeah.
It's
People are like, wow.
this is a beauty moment. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So this is an audience of SAG-AFTRA actors, and I like to
fellow actors,
yes, your fellow thespian.
Yeah.
I like to ask people, how did you both first earn your SAG cards? I know. Let's go way back.
I don't remember. Do you know?
I earned my waiver
Ooh.
on a commercial for Sprint
Okay.
in like 2004 or 5. And then I earned my SAG card back when they were separated. I was talking about this earlier.
That's right.
And I was like, I'm still waiting for my like reimbursement. I don't know if anybody was like a SAG member and then joined AFTRA and then they join and then you're like, do I get my money back or no, you're gonna keep it? Cool. But no, my first SAG job was indie called Spitting in the Butter in like 2005.
Very cool. Very cool. How about yourself?
I'm really having a hard time. I'm sure commercials did it, but
All right.
I can't remember. And that's not even me being like, I had so many jobs. I just can't remember what it
My
was.
memory's trash.
Yeah.
I literally can't remember like this morning.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. So let's talk about the weekend. What was the thing that kind of drew you into the project? How did that all work out?
I Skyped with Stella, Maggie, who's the writer-director of the movie, and she's amazing, and we vibed really well together. I also saw her first film, Gene of the Joneses, and I loved that. And I was like, this is the tone that she's capable of. I want to keep doing stuff like this. And yeah, I love the script. I thought it was very funny. I like this character. I think Zadie is a very complex person, and I wanted to do something like that. I feel like I don't get a lot of roles like that, so it was fun to try.
Very cool. And what was something that stood out as different for this role than what you've played before?
Well, usually I'm used as like comedic relief because I am a comedian and I'm very good at it. So I'm not complaining. I'll come in and be comedic relief, but this is like my first romantic thing where I'm required to like show a range of emotions other than just like, papers due at 5 p.m. and then I get out of there, you know, like it's like a nice change of pace.
Very cool. Very cool. What about you?
I met Stella the same year we filmed. So I met her at a party. I'm not actually a fun person, but I was at a party incidentally, miraculously. And we kind of got along like very quickly because we share sensibilities. We share a sense of humor. It's a little dark, a little twisted, very dry. And, you know, we just kind of hit it off really, really early on. And then she DM'd me, and I get a lot of my jobs through DM, believe it or not.
Whoa.
Slipping in those DMs.
Just slipping in the DMs. So she DM'd me, and she was like, what are you doing in December? And I said, wow, we making a movie. Let's make a movie. So she sends me the script, and Sasheer drew me in. She told me Sasheer was starring in it, and I take pride in putting the support and supporting. And, you know, it was a role that when I was reading it, I was reading, like envisioning Sasheer doing it. And when I have like a chance to do that and I know who's attached, you know, and that I'm super excited about a script, and then I need to know who my collaborators are. And, you know, she just started being like, Tone gonna be in it, Elan gonna be in it. And I was like, all right,
Great crew.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
So, oh, no.
No, I was just tearing up.
Oh. We can use this as
Yeah, no thanks.
Now, when you're both reading scripts, is there something initially that jumps out at you from the page, or how long does it take you to kind of find the vibe or the rhythm of a movie before you're like, I am sold?
You can usually tell in the first few pages. I also like when people have fun in the description.
Yes.
And it's like, you can tell a lot about this character more than just what they're saying, but like how they look, how they're behaving, how they're standing. And if someone's taking care to describe all that in the script, it excites me. I also just really want to play well-rounded humans. If someone's offering a role where it's like pretty flat, or the role's just to serve someone else's role, like, I don't know, the woman who's lifting up the man or whatever the thing is, those are boring. So I don't really want to do too many of those. But yeah, if there's a character that seems like, oh, I can see so many aspects of this person's life, and this is not even a real person, but I can imagine this being a real person, then I like that.
Yeah, it's getting harder because I feel like now I'm reading scripts sooner, like before they're ready.
Uh-oh.
So that's it's a new, very privileged problem challenge to like to like read something and try to continue to like see the possibility. And also I found that my approach has changed. So like when, you know, I've had to like evolve how my brain works. Because for years, especially when you're like building your body of work and you're like building a reel, you'll read something and you go, what can I do something with this? Like, it's very like character centric. You know, you're thinking about what is going to be on your demo reel, and you're thinking about like, what can I bring to this thing to elevate it? So then there's kind of an interesting turning point where you have to stop reading things to think like, oh, what can I make of this? And to then being like, is it already something that really like speaks to me, a story that I want to tell, people I want to work with. And, you know, sometimes, like I mentioned before, if you read something and it's a little premature, then you have to like watch stuff that the writer has done before, the director's done before, to kind of get a real sense of where it could potentially go. So it's interesting, and it's like, you know, there's no one way to read a script these days.
Sure. So part of the DM was Sasheer was attached. Did you two know each other before you started filming?
No, I'm just a stalker. I mean, I've been a fan of SNL since I've seen like every episode of Saturday Night Live since the beginning of Saturday Night Live. You know, so I feel like I was there with you when it was a big damn
Felt
deal.
your spirit, yeah.
You were cast. But no, we didn't know each other before.
No, but I'm so glad we know each other now.
Same.
Yeah.
And while filming, Sasheer, you come from a strong improv background at UCB. Did you find that was Stella open to improv, and how could you apply those skills on set?
Yeah, Stella was open to improv, and I'm so thankful because I prefer that kind of set where people want you to play and have fun. I've been on sets where they don't like that, which is also fine. But why waste this talent? You know, I can do it. So yeah, there would be times where if we had time for that shot, she'd be like, just like play around to see what's going on. I forgot this, but Stella reminded me that the scene in the diner with me and Alon, like ordering food and sitting there and just talking, completely improvised, and I forgot. Like all of that was just like a random conversation that we're having. They're like, just go and we'll roll on it, and it's that stuff is fun because like you get to think more about how your character would react in other situations that aren't in the script, and if you know that much, then you can say anything with this character.
So do you know percentage-wise how much of this was improvised versus sticking to the script?
Like I said, my memory is bad. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea percentage-wise. The script was already so funny on its own. We didn't need to do too much, but there was like, I know that STD conversation was improvised too. Where we're talking about how you may have been the center of a herpes breakout. I can't remember what else, but yeah, there were just like little things here and there. It's mostly just like one-liners here and there, not whole scenes, but
yeah, the structure's all there. The story was all there.
Mm-hmm.
If there was any like, a play, it would be mostly like just like little dialogue things, maybe some like, I mean, there's also not a lot of slang, the language is pretty sophisticated. So trying to improvise within the confines of that kind of form and structure.
Very cool, very cool. Now, have you found, and we've all as actors had bad auditions, good auditions, have you found that you've used improv in auditions and directors have been open to it, or are they more closed off?
Well, yes. So I actually just finished watching Samuel L. Jackson's masterclass on acting, which is very good. You should watch it. I also recommend Malcolm Gladwell's on writing. But yeah, I watched that one, and he had a part in there where he said, you should ask if people want you to improv, because you just going off and improvising on your own makes it seem like you think you're a better writer than the writer. And I was like, yikes.
Like, too late.
way too late. I've been like steamrolling people's words for years. But because in my mind, I was like, oh, they're going to like that. They're going to like, and some people do. Because like there's so many auditions I've been on where they truly have no idea what they want. So if I do come in with some jokes, they're like, thank God, we didn't know what direction we were going in. But there are also times that I'm sure I don't even know about where people are like, no, I meant to write it this way, and now you're coming in and just like doing whatever you want. You go write your own script. Which no one has said.
No one says it, but you can see it in their eyes.
They wouldn't be wrong to say that either. So now I'm trying to get in the habit of asking like straight up as I walk in, how do you feel about improv? Do you want me to improvise something? Do you not? And people will be honest with you. They'll either say, no, we actually prefer it to be to the letter. Or, yeah, you can play at the end if you want to, but please stick as close to the script as possible. Or, fuck it, have fun with it. You'll get the range, but like ask beforehand. Otherwise, you might not get a great reaction.
That is solid advice. Do
Yeah.
either of you have really solid advice for auditioning that you've found you've carried through your career and something that's really stuck with you?
I still spend so much goddamn time on my auditions. I spend, hours a day. One, I ask immediately as soon as I get an appointment. I'm like, is that the latest? Give me the latest appointment you can. I want as much time as I can have to work on it. And and my husband's kind of the like opposite actually. Like, and you have to know what kind of actor you are. There are some actors who, if you like work on something ad nauseum, it actually makes you more nervous for whatever. He's like that. He's kind of a show pony. He'll come home and he'll be like, babe, and then I did this. And I'm like, what? But for me, I'm like nerdy valedictorian. So I'll spend 3 hours a day for a week, like doing my laundry, doing the lines, like doing whatever, like living my life, doing the lines, like in the car, so that it's so like in my system that by the time I get there, they're like, oh my gosh, she's so relaxed and professional and da 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 da. So that's never changed. What has changed is now if I'm going in for something that I don't want, that I don't give a fuck about, I know I should not be cussing because it's like recorded, I take more risks.
Oh, okay.
I use it as an opportunity to just be like, she got aqua hair, because why not? Like, I just use it as an opportunity to like take more risks. That's when I'm more likely to like just be like, this is the new script. You're welcome, fixed it for you.
Give me that writer's credit.
So that recently, because I'm like, I'm still figuring out like certain things, I'm trying to like get in with studios now. And sometimes that stuff is real bad. So I'm like, how can I make this interesting for me? Because if it's not interesting for you, then they'll be asleep too,
And now the projects that you didn't necessarily care about, did you get a good response? And
I'll be up for stuff, and I will be like, "Woo, that's real close," because I really don't want to do that. And I don't want to say no to you, but I will.
what about you? Any audition tips, techniques you've carried in your back pocket?
For memorizing lines, it's best if I do it before I go to bed. Something about, I don't know, sleeping on it. When I'll wake up and be like, wow, look at that. I memorize stuff. And then I'm still working on this. Honestly, I'm working on this in life. And maybe I'll never get good at it, but I'm trying to be on time. I was late here. But when I am on time to an audition, it's so much better because I'm relaxed. I'm not sweating. I just feel better. But in those times where I'm just like running in and then running into the door.
I'm the inverse. I'm trying to be later because I'm chronically on time, and then I gotta socialize. We were socializing earlier.
Oh, interesting.
You know, then I gotta like.
I don't know.
It was a great time.
I have no idea what happens when you're early. Is that what you do? Oh, I wouldn't know.
It's a party.
Yeah. Well, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But
You don't want that.
I guess, be maybe right on time or like 5 minutes before you need to be there. Yeah. Not super early and definitely not late.
Like, well, I didn't book the role, but it was a party. We had fun.
No, I need to party with the people in the waiting room. Nope.
That's the worst kind of party.
Unless I know them. But also, like, it's not like you're all my enemies. Like, I don't know. I'm in my zone.
Yeah, I get that. So on set, how many days was the shoot?
13.
Oh my.
Really
Whoa.
fast. Yeah.
Wow. 13 days have gone by and I haven't like changed my clothes. That's crazy. So wow.
Everyone's like, what?
Everyone's like, oh.
That's on camera now.
Yeah, that's forever in the history of YouTube. Great. So did 13 days, did you find that it was a faster pace that kind of like added to the spirit and the pacing of the movie, or did time?
Well, it was 13 days because Stella she's the writer, director, producer, like it's her vision. So you don't waste time when it's all yours, right?
Yeah.
There's no like, let's get coverage just in case. She knows how she's going to edit it. So that's why it was 13 days, because it felt actually very like meander. It felt this light. Yeah.
It didn't feel like rushed or hurried. It was just very like, yeah, we're going to get this now. We're going to get this and we're going to go home. Like, it was very nice.
Yeah. That's an actor's dream.
Truly.
Was the set, what was the vibe on the set?
Great. We were in Malibu. You saw the
breakfast.
setting. Yeah. It was like beautiful all the time. We were just in nature, just having fun. And yeah, it was great.
It was great.
And just good vibes because everyone's so cool and chill. And the crew was great. And Stella was great. She just had a really great environment for the set.
Was there a day that stuck out in your mind as like really awesome and just living the dream?
I mean, the day we did that dance scene was really nice. It was like a long day into night where we cleared all the furniture and then Stella just started playing some music and we had that like slow dance scene, and that was very fun. Also walking through that persimmon orchard was really nice. It was just nice.
It was really, there's the scene where we're eating outside, like having breakfast outside. That wasn't nice. It was really windy.
It was so windy.
It was really.
You could like still see it. It was like,
it was really windy. Like, there's like one shot where in the background, like you're in the house, and in the background it's just like you saw it, right? You caught it. That was real life. Like we were like trying to shoot in between the moments of chaos. That's always funny to me. I'm always like thinking like, that was crazy.
You had me at persimmon.
Yeah.
I really striking out today.
They can't all be winners. They can't all be winners, girl.
Like, this girl eats persimmons. She hasn't changed her clothes. So I have a question from Courtney for the both of you. Is there any advice from an actor's perspective to up-and-coming directors regarding relationships with actors? Ooh.
I really love when directors just know what they want. I have worked with directors who are very loose and maybe because I know how to do improv or like whatever you want, but I also want to know what you want. So if someone who has a very clear vision is very good at communicating that to another person, I appreciate that as an actor because I can do anything, but I can't see myself, and I also don't know what the big picture is. I haven't seen the other scenes. I would like someone who is on the outside who knows what that is and can guide me in that direction, as opposed to being like, yeah, whatever you want, because I don't do that. I will do whatever I want, but that may not be good for what the whole movie is.
Mine is like know who you're working with. Like every actor has their like different approach. They have the like a language they respond to. You know, I love sitting down with directors before to like my favorite thing about this moment in my life is like, oh, I get to like meet directors now and not just like meet them on set and hope for the best, because there is a compatibility of approach and a kind of a sliding scale when it comes to actors. Like I'm pretty hands off. I don't like to be micromanaged. I don't like to be fussed over. You know, part of the reason I love film and television is the autonomy, is the ability to go like, this is my offering, you know, and I like for my offering to be like dialed and, you know, kind of like sculpted, but I don't work well with directors who were like, this is the one way it goes, you know, or directors who like think actors are robots. That drives me crazy. And I don't mind working with those directors because like at this point, you know, you just kind of like get used to people's style and you know when and how to like tune them out. But it's nice being able to go into knowing how like one another works, you know, and being able to like modulate your approach as a director with an actor who's method, you know, with an actor who doesn't like to watch themselves, with an actor who is actually super duper technically proficient and responds to like timing things or like it's here, you know what I mean? Like in lenses and every actor is completely different. So actually taking the time, you know, however you can, whether that's beforehand or on set, to get to know the actor that you're working with.
Would you have any advice for an actor who's maybe not seeing eye to eye with the director, and how do you kind of work around that? Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of communication. So if the thing that you guys are butting heads against is a creative thing, I would hope that both parties are open to hearing thoughts on that. So yeah, you could. I think it should be. Hopefully, you're on a set that's open enough where you can be like, hey, here's my working style, or the way we're doing this is not really computing in my brain. Is there a way we can break it down in easier steps so I can get you what you want? Because the director also wants the job to be good for both of you and also wants the project to be complete. So whatever's going to make it easier for you on set, I would hope the director would want to hear that. So say something. And if it's like a thing where it's like, oh, I don't like this person's artistic choices, that I think that's just how it's gonna be. It sucks, but like that's that person's vision, and you are executing it. And no, you're not a robot just doing whatever they're doing. But like if they are staunch with it, just, you know, get that paycheck and get out of there, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, because it varies too. Like I made that face, but I haven't had that experience yet. And part of it is because like I can deduce in the moment if like it actually matters or not. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll have a choice or an idea and you know, like it's like what's in your head. And I have to, like, you can step outside of yourself and go like, does it really matter? Like, can I deliver what this person is asking for in a way that, you know, doesn't feel like it's killing my soul? The reason I was smiling is because one of my favorite directors, I worked with her on Firelight. Her name is Darnell Martin. So Darnell Martin is fucking brilliant. And she is like the actor whisperer. Like her work on specifically performance, there are directors who like love the technical stuff and like then the drone comes in and da 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 da. Darnell is like the actor is the special effect, right? So she was telling me about this one actor who she would give a note to, or she would like come in and she'd be like, listen, you know, like dope actor, like, hey, A, B, C, D, F, G. And the actor would just go, okay, got it, no problem. And do the same thing that he just did before, right? And she'd be like, oh, okay, maybe if I try like a different angle or like communicate a different way. And the actor would be like, all right, cool, yeah, no worries, bet, I got you. And then go back and do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. Anyway, so I always thought about that because you can do either. You can either be that actor who is like, okay, cool, because I'm a nerd. I'm like, I'm an instrument. I have a lot of notes, you know, and it's delightful for me to try to figure out how to merge my vision with the vision of the writer, the director, whomever. That's like part of like, you know, what like gets me off or whatever. But you could also be the actor who's like, I said what I said. As long as your temperament is like this. And that's really what it is. Really, the key is no matter what kind of actor you are, as long as you're like cool as a cucumber on set, you could do whatever you want to do. It's really funny. I have seen it too. It's my favorite.
Nice. All right. Having trouble visualizing it, but what would you tell an actor who feels like they're kind of hit a plateau, things aren't going either way? What's some advice to kind of push through to get to the next level in an actor's career?
I'm a big fan of creating stuff. If you have the means to create something. Like, I feel very fortunate that I like to write for myself. And I do feel like that led me to other opportunities because people were like, oh, that's her voice. Now I know what to do with her. So if you can, or like, you know, get along with other writers or actors or people, like, and you guys can create something together if you feel like it's too much pressure to do it on your own. But yeah, find people, collaborate, get yourself out there, because waiting sucks. Like, just waiting for someone to say yes is so annoying. But anytime I got a no or a door closed in my face, I just made something, and that was like way more fruitful than me waiting for the yes in the first place.
I mean, same. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't that. I legit wouldn't be here if I just didn't, you know, like the front half of my resume is 1 trillion shorts. You know, like I love acting. I love being on set. I love work. Like, it's what I love to do. So there's not a world where I'm not going to just keep doing that. And even this movie, for Stella was a return to form. You know, she came out with Gina the Joneses. It's like her voice. You and I probably responded to that film in the same way. And, you know, she did everything, which is beautiful. But working, you know, in the studio system is another challenge. Like, you're working in a form. That is show business, you know? So for her, like going from Gina the Joneses to everything, you know, it's a beautiful challenge, but it still can feel artistically compromising. So for her to go and shoot The Weekend, something she knew she was going to write and direct, and we were going to shoot, you know, over 13 days, it's ours, you know, it's hers and it's ours. And it's kind of like that, and it kind of remains that way for me too, like even dipping in and out of like formal Hollywood. You know, there are times where I just like mentally quit because it's like discouraging, disillusioning, boring, any confluence of things. It's just like, what are you doing over there? Okay, let me email my friends, like, let me hit up some folks, whether it's like seen or unseen, whether it's working in a small theater, in New York or whatever, just, continue on, because it's so fascinating. I can give you a trillion examples of connecting the dots, the like creative and professional dots in my life from those moments when I was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna like keep it moving and do my own thing, with the people that I love working with.
Are there projects that are on your acting bucket list that there's something you're just clamoring to work on, whether it's tone, director, role?
I mean, I always wanted to do Kill Bill 3 because I'm a big fan of Volume 1 and 2. And I know Vivica A. Fox's daughter watched her mom die. And I was like,
smart.
Well, she's got to grow up, right? Oh. And avenge her mother. So, Quentin.
Yeah, are you listening, Quentin?
If you're watching SAG-AFTRA YouTube channel right now.
He might be. He might be. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to send this video to him after.
Please.
Yeah.
He kept like hinting at doing it, but then he keeps doing other movies, so I don't know. I don't know if he's thinking about it or not, but it'd be nice.
You never know. You never know. All right.
Put it out into the ether.
Yeah.
I believe. I'm a witch, so I'm going to keep
spread
putting it out
there.
into the ether. Something super experimental. Like, I feel like what's been exciting for me the last couple of years is I feel like, film and television has like caught up to what I've been able to do in theater, which is, far more like nuanced and interesting and vast and meaty. So now I'm getting greedy and I want to do something like Brechtian, something really obscure and strange, like where's John Waters at,
Okay.
That's what I want to do next for sure.
Awesome. Well, I think that is our time, but tell everyone out there watching how they can see The Weekend.
Amazon Prime, at iTunes. It's on demand, like Vudu and stuff like that. I'm really bad at this. And
we're so good at promoting. And in select theaters.
I don't know all the theaters, but Atlanta.
It's on my IG right now.
Yeah, it's on our Instagram and Twitter. You can Google it. Go check it out.
And Quentin, if you're listening. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.